Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and as you'll see from this title, why do I fish my tips up? I can answer that very quickly and easily, and I'll explain why. It's basically because Jim Shelley does. After fishing on the Woolpack for 5 seasons, watching Jim do it, I went round one day to swim and I said, right, can I ask you please, why do you have your tips up? What is the deal with that? Basically, he told me now what I'm going to tell you, and that is, number one, when your tips are up, you can see for lift bites, line bites, anything like that. You've got information from your line, it's telling you something. When your tips are flat or buried under the water, you can't see any of that. Your line tells you nothing. So that was his first tip or point. His second point was, when you get a bite, because your rod's up at an angle, once the fish has hit the lead and it's moved off, the compression of the rod is only pulling the hook further and further and further in, and the lead doesn't always set the hook fully home, whereas the compression of that rod and a tightest clutch, you don't have to fish tight, but like just your normal bait run or free spool drag setting that you have when you're fishing, like when you're waiting for a bite, I mean, that pressure going through that line and the tension pulling back, that will make sure the hook's fully set. So you've got information, you've got bite indication, and you've got hooking potential. There's 3 things straight away. Another thing is slack line. You'll notice I like to fish slack. A lot of people seem to fish semi-slack these days, which is good. I think fishing a slacker line definitely helps you get more fish. When your tips are up like that, the line comes off at an angle going down to the lead. Each time you pull a bit of line off, the weight will naturally do this and this, and the first bit to sink will be from the lead back towards you. So you don't have to pull loads off to be fishing slack by the lead, but the more you slacken off, the more it's going to just get better and better and better. So slack lines and line presentation, that's another great point. Another thing he said was, if you're fishing over a weed bed or out down the back of a bar, your line is going more direct to the spot, so your bite indication is a lot faster. And basically, it's just an easier form of fishing. You're not messing around setting rods up for ages. You put your sticks in, rods on, bang, 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 you're fishing. You know, your mind's watching the water after that. I used to set mine up like, you got to get your front rest in, back rest. I've had it on here. I'm in session at the minute, A1 pit 6 I'm on at the minute, fishing zigs. I know how to back rest in and try to level everything up, and it looks so unnatural to me. I've fished my tips up for so many years now, having them down, it just feels so unnatural. As I'm sure if you guys tried fishing your tips up, you'd feel, I'm not sure about this. But the one thing I will say is, if what I'm telling you doesn't make sense, just look at the bloke who's told me it. That bloke catches more fish than anyone I know of in this country, and he fishes that way every single time he goes into session, unless he absolutely has to fish with his rods down, which, if I'm honest, I can't see a time where he hasn't. Even in the worst wind condition, his tips are still up. And if a man of that caliber and skill and ability level is fishing that way, there is a specific reason for that. So that is exactly why I'm going to carry on fishing my tips up as well. Not because I think I'll ever be anywhere on par with that, but that's got to be a plus point to your fishing, hasn't it? Because if it didn't work, 1, he wouldn't catch the fish he's caught, and 2, he wouldn't carry on doing it. So yeah, that's the reason. He's an angler I follow, and it's something he showed me years ago, and it's something I've sort of took into my own fishing and carried on. So hopefully that clears that up. But why not drop in the comments below why you fish your rods down? Is it because you've seen one of your anglers you follow do it, or you just see pictures and everyone's got it that way and you think that's the way forward? Like I say, I used to fish my tips down all the time until I had that conversation with Jim, and then I kind of went away and tried it, and I've never really looked back. So yeah, let me know below why you fish your rods the way you fish them, and set up how you set them up, and what you think you get from doing that, because I'll be interested to know, because it's been a lot of years since I've had flat rods or pointed rods like I've got now, and it's not sitting well with me basically. But anyway, I hope that clears it up. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, see you on the bank at some point, no doubt.